All right,
But no, it's the anniversary of my cousin's death, so that's why we're wearing these shirts. My whole
Ryan's
family is.
Racers. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, this is episode 5 again, right?
Yeah. You want to call it
Okay.
5?
Yeah, we're
And
gonna
then we'll
call it
forget
5.
about
So,
we'll forget what happened last
no,
Tuesday
no, no,
or
we're gonna
last week.
inform everyone. So, our lovely veteran viewer, Mark, Connor's uncle, has spotted a horrible, horrible mistake, and I don't know what happened, but for some reason, the last podcast episode that we recorded was Connor was muted the entire time, so it just sounded like I was talking to myself. So,
He does that
um,
often, so it's,
yeah, it's
just have
fine.
to.
It was perfectly normal. We're perfectly fine there. But so welcome back to the booth. This is episode 5,
You know what's funny?
and
I distinctly remember you messing with audio settings before we recorded that episode.
I did. Well, I had to like lower your mic a little bit and like
So
even us back out.
I bet that's what ended up
It's
happening
probably
somewhere
what
in there.
happened. I probably like accidentally muted it and didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But I just did a test recording. Everything sounds good. So hopefully we're
Sweet.
good to go.
And we actually,
Um,
I feel like we have a lot more to talk about this time than we did last time, just
I
seeing
feel
as
like we
what's
do as
happened in the
well.
past week.
So, what was it? Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I think it was Tuesday.
Well, our last episode. Wait, what do you
Our
mean
last
Tuesday?
no, 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 I'm saying Tuesday with what's happening in the country currently.
It was before Tuesday.
What? No, like the press conference that
With
Trump had.
oh yeah, that was Tuesday.
Okay,
But
so
everything started on Friday. Let me start. Let's start on Friday
go
because
ahead.
that's when everything kicked off. So I think this was mentioned in 4. I went to Orlando to go to Disney World. Left Wednesday or left Thursday. We recorded episode 5. The last time we recorded it was on that Wednesday night,
Correct.
talking about the trip. I went to Disney World, and shortest lines I've ever seen. First of all,
Okay.
um, flying there was 80 seats open on my plane.
Damn.
There was so few amount of people that they had to get 5 people from the front of the plane to move to the back of the plane because of weight distribution. That's how empty this plane was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was through Southwest. It was a Boeing 737. It was a really rough flight, and I don't know if there was a lot of turbulence, and I don't know if that was because it was lighter than it usually is.
Hmm.
Because that means that the wind would push it around more. I don't know, but it was awful. It was the first time I've ever gotten motion sickness on an airplane. Um,
Really?
yeah, and it wasn't terrible. I think it was a combination of the fact that I had a really greasy burger before I got on the plane,
Probably.
and then the fact that I was on an airplane. Anyways, we land. It's all good, and like I said, lines are empty now. So we get the notification when we land that Disneyland is closed. And we're like, okay, maybe they just did that because of the ordinance that the state of California imposed on everything, right? That you
Yeah,
couldn't
but
have more than
also
2,500 people in an area at once.
wasn't does Disneyland even have resorts on
Yeah, they have
site?
resorts.
Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't know because it's so much smaller than Disney World.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway.
they do. It's not as many, obviously, but there
Hmm.
are a few, I do believe.
Okay.
Um, and then so we're just kind of worried about it Thursday. We do our stuff Thursday. It's all chill. Friday, we wake up and Disney World is closing. We get the notification. But what Disney World did is they staggered it closing. So they were going to close, they said Sunday. So we were freaking out. We're like, okay, is it closing Sunday in the morning, as in Saturday night, and they're not going to open at all on Sunday? Or is it closing Sunday night? So we go to the front desk, we talk to them, closing Sunday night. Okay. So we had all day Thursday, or we had all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday for the parks. So we're like, okay, we're only missing Animal Kingdom because the last 2 days we were going to go on like a safari hike at Animal Kingdom, and then the last day was going to be a full day of doing the rides at Animal Kingdom, and then the following day we're going to go to Cape Canaveral.
Okay.
Okay. And then we were going to leave that night. Our flight was going to be landing in Austin at midnight, leaving Orlando, 8ish, I think, or 9. Anyways, so we go ahead and So okay, we find out that it's closing. We're like, okay, so we're gonna stay at least until Sunday, and Cape Canaveral hasn't closed yet. So we're like, okay, well on Monday and Tuesday we'll go to Disney Springs and we'll have a resort day on Tuesday, and then we'll go to Cape Canaveral and we'll keep it going, right?
Gotcha.
We then get the news that Cape Canaveral's closing. Like, okay, great. Well, then why are we staying Wednesday? So then we were just gonna. Then my mom bumped up our flight to Wednesday morning instead of Wednesday night, so we can come home a couple hours earlier. And then we go to Disney Springs on Monday, and everything is like closing down essentially. And then we get the news that Disney Springs as a whole would be closing Tuesday, Monday night. Okay.
Okay.
And then we get the news that the resorts are closing on Friday. The resorts closing didn't have an issue with us. That didn't impede on anything. But then we're like, why even stay all day Tuesday? So then my mom bumped us up to a 5 o'clock flight on Tuesday, so we can take our time in the morning, get out, still do some stuff at the resort, which we did, and leave. And then to backtrack, with the whole F1 side of things, I went to bed Thursday, excited that I'd be waking up to watch practice on Friday,
Mhm.
like early Friday morning. I woke up early on Friday morning to the news that both McLaren had a teammate or somebody on the team that tested positive for it, and then that they decided to pull out, and then that they had
Fantastic.
canceled the entirety of the race. And now they've canceled every single race Monaco back. So Monaco is canceled, and everything before Monaco has been canceled officially. So the earliest we can go racing is Canada on the calendar, because everything
Which
before that has
is
been canceled.
date
May.
wise. Damn.
Yeah. And
Damn.
other big news, I sent this to you, but the 2021 regulations are being pushed back to 2022.
Yep.
And then, but a part of that, which I haven't seen being really talked about much in the media, but this is a part of that as well. The teams have unanimously voted on that, and they also unanimously voted that the cars that they had prepared for 2020 are going to be the same cars they use in 2021, meaning that there's going to be no. They're
Okay,
going to
so they're
not
basically
build new
just
cars.
postponing until 2022 to change all the stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that they're not going to build brand new cars. So every year the teams build a brand new car. Now
Well, I
that
mean, like,
car is
what? A
probably
quarter of their season has been taken out already?
right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that every year the teams, no matter the change in regulations, they build a new car completely from scratch. Now it might be based on the previous car with a lot of new upgrades, but they completely build it from scratch, essentially, right?
Okay.
New blank CAD file, they completely start again. Now, they're not going to be doing that in between seasons. They're just going to update the car that they were going to use for 2020, regardless of what happens the rest of this year.
Gotcha.
And they have essentially frozen the factories now, so the cars aren't being worked on at all until the first race, whenever that is.
Damn.
Now that's because the Italian teams can't be in the factories because of how bad the situation in Italy is. The
Yeah.
Ferrari and Alpha Tauri have not been working on their cars at all.
Well, I mean, Italy's just a total fucking shitstorm right now.
Right.
Like, it's insane.
So yeah, that's where we are right now. And the team principal for Ferrari tested positive for it.
Jesus
So did
Christ.
Sean Payton, actually.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. It's insane, man. And
Crazy
apparently it's
fucking times.
a lot more lethal than they originally thought it was in regards to age and stuff.
Yeah. There's
So-
actually a guy in Louisiana, 45 lawyer, who's in critical condition.
He actually died.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking about it this morning. I didn't know if he had died yet or not.
Yeah, he died, I think, yesterday.
Okay.
Might have been the day before last. Not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, his wife was she was interviewed. She basically just said, she was like, "Look, there's nothing that is gonna bring my husband back, but I just want to, make it aware to everyone that this is, serious. Like, the guy was in good health, he didn't have
Yeah.
any crazy underlying medical conditions, and
But what
Still took
it
him.
seemed to me is, but what seemed to me from what I heard from the article my buddy sent me is that it had taken a while for him to get medical attention for it, right?
well, yeah, it was kind of dumb. he had symptoms for I think like 2 days, and then they were like, okay, we probably need to go get this checked out. They went and got it checked out, and they ended up giving him the wrong. Apparently, ibuprofen is not what you're supposed to be taking while under coronavirus, and they basically prescribed him like heavy use, like heavy duty use ibuprofen,
So
and
it's less the age thing. It's more that the healthcare providers fucked up.
correct.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
expecting.
anyways, they tested him. He tested positive. He had it. And then they prescribed just a heavy duty ibuprofen and was not the proper drug to be using.
So what I
So
and another article, my friend, we were talking about this all this morning when we were playing Ark, but a buddy of mine sent me another article that they are now testing two drugs for HIV. There are two different drugs, but they're testing them in conjunction with each other, and apparently, when used together, are eradicating the coronavirus from patients.
so they're HIV medications.
Right, which would make sense because HIV is a virus, and if
Yeah.
any medicine is going to work to eradicate a virus from a body, it's going to be that.
Yeah.
Um, so that's something that they're looking into because we're really close to a vaccination, but we're not really close to a cure, right? Because it's really difficult to cure people of viruses versus infections or living diseases, right? Because viruses aren't living technically. So, but the HIV virus is one that we've gotten pretty close to a cure. So the medications that are pretty close to curing it from a person should, in theory, be able to be used towards other viruses, and and they're testing pretty positively right now with it.
Okay.
So that's the next steps that are coming.
That's very interesting.
Also, Sweden is working on a test that will test if you have the virus with better accuracy than the test that's out there right now, but then we'll also test to see if you've ever had the virus at any point in your life.
Really?
And then can pinpoint the age range, the dates, or like the age range ish where you had it. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's a virus, it does stuff with your DNA. So that's why they can test it.
Okay.
But it'll be useful to see how long this virus has actually been around, and how many cases that we thought were just the flu or just a head cold
I
turned
mean,
out to be it.
honestly, I'm convinced that Joseph and his family had it like a month ago.
Yeah,
Because I think 3 out of the 4 of them in the household, they thought that they had flu and flu-like symptoms, and then they go to the doctor and they all tested negative for the flu
yeah,
for like the strain that was happening, and like 3 or 4 others, they all tested negative for it.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's weird, man.
It's really weird,
It's weird
but
stuff.
I think it's gonna die down fairly soon, next few
I
months.
hope so. I really hope so. I don't know. It's really
The
weird.
doctors,
Like,
it should die down this summer because that's just how kind of the seasons go.
yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, they were saying that it doesn't do well in warmer climates, so.
right, right. Um, Dude, it was the worst. We were coming back the morning we came back. We were at breakfast, and this older dude that was like the dad of the family, was
Mhm.
coughing and it was like
Oh,
being absolute
Jesus.
disgusting pig. And so me and my dad kind of leave that area. We're just kind of okay, we kind of move away. Not only were they also on our bus to the airport, they were on our flight as well.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm just waiting for 2 weeks.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's all weird. Like all the restaurants are all carry out and,
Yeah.
delivery only, and it's weird.
So our Target here is actually limiting the amount of people that can go in the store at a time. They have a line out the door. It's
Really?
like a ride. Yeah. It literally looks like you're at like Disney World waiting for a ride. There's a standby line to go into Target.
Damn.
Yeah.
We haven't had anything that crazy yet, but
Ooh,
I mean, that's
package
crazy.
just got shipped. Yeah, no, it is wow.
I mean, I feel bad.
Um
Like I was supposed to go to a wedding at the end of this month and they completely canceled it, and I'm like, holy
well,
shit, that sucks. Like,
they're talking about canceling my prom and my graduation.
I know two proms that have already gotten canceled. Like
Yeah,
Westminster got canceled.
yeah,
Um, and I think Lafayette High did as well.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
my school hasn't said anything particular. The only thing that my school have said is that we're out of school till April 6th at the earliest,
Hmm.
um, and that they would be in a communication with us next week about online assignments. But that's all that they've said. Some of my other buddies who have like more difficult classes with more difficult teachers, their teachers have started to reach out to them. Like one of my friends said that his teacher's literally going to call them every night to update her on what they're working on.
Oh my gosh.
But I haven't heard jack shit from my teachers.
Well,
The only teacher I've heard from is the teacher that's going on our Europe trip with us, which as of right now is still on. So
as of now,
they
when's the date that y'all ship out for that?
July 13th.
I think
So
I think it'll be fine by then. I
okay,
really I
one
really
of two
think
things are
it'll
gonna
start
happen.
to die down by
If
like
it's
May.
yeah, if it's not, and Europe is still kind of in the shit show that it is in right now, um, we're gonna push it back to either spring break 2021 or summer 2021.
Yeah.
Um, which would be interesting because we would all be living elsewhere, and arranging those flights would be interesting. I don't know if they're gonna make us come back to Austin and then go on the trip, or if they're gonna let us fly out of wherever we are. But
I mean,
I'll be living close enough to Austin that it won't matter for me. But like, I know a buddy of mine that's going to school in Washington State.
yeah.
What are you expecting? How are you expecting him to get back? But
Damn.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. Joseph and I are supposed to go to a concert at the end of April, hoping that still happens, but we'll see.
damn.
Um, no, but I mean, shit's just weird. Like, I don't know. Like, I play pool pretty freaking often, and I can't go do that now. And it's like, where do I go?
No,
Like, where am I supposed to go play now?
I was I was literally watching this bodybuilder on YouTube, and I told you about him,
Hmm.
and I was learning a bunch of stuff from his YouTube channel. Like whenever I had free time at Disney World, that's what I was doing, and I was setting up like a regimen to start doing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start hitting this hard when I get back. The day I'm leaving Orlando, my gym previously had closed everything except for the weight room. Like the weight room was still open. Fuck yes, that's all I need. The day I get back from Orlando, close everything, and they don't even give us a date. They just set it until further notice. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, fuck.
Well,
There goes
like,
that.
I mean, okay, so I think it was the 16th that they put out
Yeah.
the 15-day, recommended quarantine or whatever it was
Mm-hmm.
that Trump had spoke about. Anyway, so on that night, all bars were closing at midnight and were to not open for the next 15 days, two
Yeah.
weeks, and maybe that was Monday. I think that was Monday.
I don't remember.
I
It
want
was
to say it was
it was the
Monday.
weirdest shit. It felt like everything was like we were on a like being. I mean, Galaxy's Edge was amazing, by the way.
I need to
But
go.
like it actually felt like you were on a different planet. But even just with all of this stuff happening, it even felt like you were on a different planet because like you're still at Disney World and there still is people there, right?
Hmm.
So it didn't feel like any of this was real. When we landed in the Austin airport, I think is when it all hit us because we landed and it was kind of like that like after rain kind of foggy mist. So it felt like a zombie apocalypse. The parking lot for the airport was completely empty. The airport was completely empty. Driving down the highway, I've never seen roads in downtown Austin that empty before. Like
That's
my
probably
dad,
the
my dad,
weirdest thing is
my
that there's
dad
no
went downtown
traffic.
this morning. My dad went downtown this morning for his job because he had an early morning pickup that he needed to do in downtown Austin this morning. He said that he got from my house to downtown 28 minutes. That's the fastest he's ever gotten to downtown.
Yeah, it's like an easy 40-minute drive,
Right.
usually, at least my experience.
Yeah. No,
Um,
that's accurate.
so yeah, I mean that's probably the weirdest thing. But like, I told my family, I was like, it's like we're in a fucking Black Mirror episode. Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? I was like, it's a boring ass Black Mirror episode. Like some dumbass ate a
Yeah.
bat in China and now everyone's staying home. Like,
You want to hear some fucked up shit?
what you got?
There was some cops that were writing people citations for being at the park in Austin.
Damn.
Even though for parking at the park, not even being there, just parking there, saying that they were against quarantine.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
then there was my friend sent me a video of this cop that was driving through a neighborhood with his like you know how they have the mega horns on their car like to speak with.
Yeah.
He was driving down the road with his blaring, and he was just saying, "If you're outside, please return back inside your houses." Just driving down the street saying that
Wow.
the United States is under quarantine for the next 14 days or whatever.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
mean, South by Southwest got canceled.
completely canceled. Yeah,
Like, that's a big event.
I'm just surprised that the cops are taking it that seriously here. It's kind of scary, but I think it's because, and this is kind of a fucked up way to think about it, but this should just tell you how much I trust cops at this point. They still need to get their quotas in for tickets every
This
month,
is true.
and there's a lot less people on the road. So how the hell else are they going to do it? So they have to do it like this.
No other solution. That's what they got.
Exactly.
We just got to work with
Which
what
is
they got.
why the
Um,
fucking that system's fucking broken. But
yeah, that's a whole nother debate. But
oh my god,
it's fucking crazy, man. I don't know if you saw, but Austria said that they're. I think that this was Sunday. They had said that they're gonna prohibit all meetings to five or less people. Austria.
yeah. So
Yeah,
how? So family of six have to kill off somebody?
apparently so. They're just gonna murder the child. I don't know.
Well, Austin's under 10 right now, and my parents were joking the entire time we were in Disney World when they got the news that Austin was 10. They were like, "Well, looks like if it gets any lower, we're gonna have to kill you off." And
Right
my
now,
siblings were like, my
right
siblings were
now,
like, "Connor, just leave."
yeah. No, I mean right now we're at 50. So
Okay. No, keep this in mind. 2 months ago, Austin was 2,500
yeah,
and under. Now it's at 10. There was nothing in between. It went from 2,500 to 10. Like there was nothing in between that.
damn. It
Yeah.
went from 250 to 50.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's weird, man. Like,
It's going to be interesting to see how we come out of this because a lot of places are until further notice and a lot of places have a date. What's going to be interesting to see is if how long those places that are until further notice take to open back up and does it take for um how long does it take for the places that given dates are they going to reopen on that date or not?
yeah,
Oh, you want to know something that's also fucked up about the Disney World situation?
what you got?
All the college interns that were working there
Mhm.
were forced to leave. They were not going to see out the rest of their internship. That was it. And then they couldn't return back to
That
their
sucks
apartments or their dorms at the universities because
because
they were
those are
forced to
closed
leave
too.
those too. Yeah.
That's insane.
Um Now I do know that Disney World was working with a couple of them, or I do know that they were going to still get paid for it.
Mhm.
So they were going to average the weeks that they had work, they would average their like how much they were working per week over the time that they were there, and they would get that pay for the remainder of what was supposed to be the remainder of their internship.
Gotcha.
So they were still going to get a pay. I'm so pissed. The job that I just quit, they're doing that now too. If I had hung on for just a little bit longer, I could have gotten just free money for the next couple months.
That would have been nice.
But yeah, but it's whatever. Um,
I mean, luckily I still have a job, still working, but I know
you're
quite a
working
few
more
people.
hours now than you used
Yeah, I'm
to, huh?
working more hours. My boss is like, you know what? We got work to do. You can come in. I was like, all right.
I guess there is less than 10 or less than 50 people in that workshop.
Yeah, we have me and two other fabricators and then the
Yeah,
boss. Yeah, it's four guys.
yeah.
We're fine. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm working more hours and I came in went in Wednesday morning and he was like, "You want a raise?" I was like, "Yeah." So he gave me a raise.
I
I
hate
was
you
like,
so
"I'll
much.
take it. I'll take it."
I hate you so much.
But yeah, no, dude. Yesterday was an interesting work day. I got there and like everything was already like set up. So all I had to do literally all day was just sit and weld. It was so great. Had headphones in. That's all I did. It's fantastic.
When are you gonna start working on some welding art projects? That's what I want to see you do.
Uh I don't know. I want to get my own machine because I have a bunch of stuff that I'd like to do.
Because something that I keep forgetting about you is just how artistic you are. Not autistic, because you are that too,
I'm
but
that as
artistic.
well, but um, I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, but I really don't know. I need to get my own machine. I've been looking at a couple, but they're all in like the $3,000 range. So once
Just
I get
say
up
fuck it
there,
and buy a cheap one just to mess with.
I've welded with shitty machines before, and it's definitely you get what you pay for when it comes to
I get
welding
that.
machines.
I
Like
get that.
with some stuff, yeah, you can kind of fudge it and just get the cheap brand. I don't know. I just don't want to deal with that headache. So
That's fair.
I'm gonna get a nice
That's,
one. But
that's fair.
I don't know, because the ones that I'm looking at are small and they do everything that I need them to do. Um, and if they break, they're under one company that I'm looking at is the ESAB, and they have a little like $3,000 machine. Freaking Swedish people, they know what the fuck is up. But they
Of
have
course.
lifetime warranties on all their products.
Oh hell yeah.
So I think once I think I want to get a new welding helmet and one of their machines because they're really really nice. So
Nice.
yeah, but I definitely want to do some art projects because they would be cool.
You know what's funny?
Go
Going
ahead.
back to the coronavirus thing real quick. Circuit of the Americas, the actual circuit's closed,
Mhm.
but you know what's not?
The go kart.
The go-kart track's still open.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, like it seems like everything like hobby wise that I do is completely shut down. Like rock
Pool hall,
climbing, pool, it's all shut down. The
video
gym
games
shut
isn't.
down. Huh?
Video games isn't shut down.
Video games is not shut down. Animal Crossing came out, by the
I
way,
haven't gotten it yet. I haven't
technically
gotten it yet.
today.
Did you get it yet?
So good.
Oh,
So
you got
good.
it already.
Yeah, it's so good.
I still need to
Like
get the Pokemon DLCs. I need to get that and get on that grind.
I haven't touched Pokemon at all yet. I haven't
It's so
touched it.
much better on the Switch. It's so much better on
That's
the
what I've
Switch.
heard. I don't know. I'm
Oh my
really
god.
upset with the way the game looks. Like the like open like wild areas or whatever they're called. I think that's what they're
Yeah.
called. They
Yeah.
they look like garbage. They look like hot fucking garbage.
Yeah, it's not the best. I
Like
definitely prefer it being I definitely prefer Pokemon being a single player game that has multiplayer aspects rather than
if
it's
this
entirely
fucking
being.
game can play on the Switch, big
Yeah.
ass open world, extremely
Yeah.
complex physics engine.
Yeah.
If this can play on the fucking Switch, we need a better looking Pokemon
Well,
game.
you know what else plays on Switch, right?
The fucking
Skyrim.
Witcher.
Witcher,
The
Skyrim,
Witcher.
And Mortal Kombat 11.
We have the hardware that we need. It
Yeah.
looks, and I'm pretty sure they did this, but it looks like they made a 3DS game and just ported it to the Switch.
It definitely feels like it. But again, I never had a 3DS XL. I only had a normal 3DS. So for
The hardware didn't
XY,
change at all. The
no,
screen
no,
just
I
got
know that.
bigger.
Right. But for XY and Sun and Moon, I was playing on a regular 3DS with a tiny ass screen with big ass hands. So
The XL was much more comfortable. Like with a guy
yeah,
with small to average hands, the XL
yeah.
was way more comfortable.
So just being able to just being able to have my hands on this thing
Yeah,
and then have a bigger screen
yeah,
was better. That's what sold it really for me, to be honest with you.
yeah. I mean,
So
it's so much nicer.
and
Um,
but the next year they're going to be doing they said that they're going to start alternating with new generation or just like second game of the generation, like they did like with Black and White, then Ultra.
yep.
Was it Ultra Black and White or something? And then they did the same thing for Sun and Moon. They said that they're either going to do new generation or like addition to that current generation every other year. So like next year they're going to do a reboot of an old game, is what they said. So they're
Okay.
going to start alternating with reboots and generational games.
I mean,
But
that's
it's
kind of what
Heart
they
Gold.
did. What
It's
game are
gold
they
and
on
silver
though?
time. Gold and silver.
Okay, so they did Soul Silver and Heart Gold on the original DS.
Yes. So
It's been a hot minute.
they've done first gen
Hmm.
already. They both ported it to the 3DS, and I think they ported it to the Switch. Um, and then Eevee and Pikachu were just the first generation games with new catching mechanics. If you didn't know that.
Hmm.
Um, So that was their first generation reboot. Then they did Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire on the 3DS, and now they said that now the speculation is that they're working on Gold and Silver.
Yeah, so looking at the Pokemon games here, just to explain that a little bit further, what they do is they come out. So Pokemon has different generations of like groups of Pokemon. Don't
I
know the
think this
names
was
of them.
Generation 9 or
I don't
8.
I don't know the names of them off the top of my head, but what they'll do is they have new generations that come in and they have like Johto and Kanto and I don't even know the other names. I'm terrible with them. But anyway, they have all these different generations of Pokemon and the Pokemon games, and what they'll do after set number of years, they'll go and revamp that generation of Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
with some newer Pokemon, new mechanics, new stuff,
New graphics
new graphics. It's all good stuff. So
on
in
their newest console too.
yeah, so in '96, Pokemon Red and Green came out in Japan. '98, Red and Blue came out in North America. '99, Yellow came out. 2000, Gold and Silver come out.
Mm-hmm.
So once Gold and Silver come out, they waited 10 years and remade it, but they called it Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That
Yeah,
is still to this day my favorite Pokemon game.
and I started with Black and White.
Black and White's a great
Technically,
game.
technically I started with X and Y, but then I went back and I played Black and White.
So the
Um,
first one that I ever played was Sapphire, and it was my
mhm.
brother's copy. And yeah, so I played Sapphire, and then I was given Leaf Green, which was the original uh, Red and Green, but it was the second one that was redone. Um, anyway, so it was Fire Red and Leaf Green. I played that one. I had played Sapphire already, and then Diamond and Pearl come out, and I play Diamond. Um, and then I picked up Heart Gold, or I picked up Soul Silver. I kind of dropped off for a while. I played Omega Ruby, and then I haven't played one since.
They're fun,
Yeah.
and the multiplayer aspect is a lot easier on the Switch and with the
Oh, it's
new
so much
Nintendo
nicer.
Network.
It's so much
So
nicer.
it makes battling and trading and stuff so much more pleasurable because it's so much more reliable and so much easier.
Well,
That being
it's
said,
just accessible.
yeah,
Like
that's exactly what it is. It's more accessible to everybody.
it's just accessible because I mean,
Pokemon used to be such a niche thing, and there was I everybody says that Pokemon Go on the phone was a failure, but I think that it did what it was intended to do, and that was show people that or give people the opportunity to get into Pokemon that have never gotten into Pokemon before.
I don't think it was a failure. I played it whenever it, like first came out.
I
I
played when it
don't
first came out,
remember
and
what
then
year
I
that
got back
was.
into it like last year.
Yeah,
And
I
then dude, the amount of people that I still saw playing it at Disney World was unfathomable.
oh, it's
Like every
insane.
single time I'd look at someone who was doing like this, they were on it.
Yeah.
Like it was just nuts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a ton of people playing it. Pokemon is, I think, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, franchises
They have a
out there.
freaking movie, and it was a video game movie that was good.
Yeah,
You don't hear about those all the time.
no, hardly ever.
Like, yeah,
Unless you want to talk about The Witcher as a TV
right,
show, but it's
yeah,
fucking incredible.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but
You can't say the Halo movie was good.
no, you can't, sadly, because
No,
Halo
yeah,
by itself, if that was just a novel,
that
holy
would be
shit,
incredible. Yeah,
holy shit. Like, if we had a
yeah,
book written, it could even be from Master Chief's perspective,
yeah,
or even Cortana's perspective.
yeah,
That would be fucking sick, actually. But if that was a novel, it would be a
yeah.
bestseller.
You want to know something
Easily.
I find kind of fucked up talking about franchises and stuff like that?
Go ahead.
It seems to me that Disney is trying to wipe the prequels out of existence, and they're
Uh,
not. But it feels like they are. And you want to know why?
why do you say that?
Everything that they have at Disney World, Star Wars related, from the fireworks display at Hollywood Studios to just the
Is it all
merchandise.
original trilogy and new trilogy?
Yep.
Yeah.
None of it's now there is one bit of prequels. There's two bit of prequels, and it's two of the movie lightsabers that you can buy at the lightsaber gift shop,
Okay.
and that's Ahsoka Tano's white lightsabers, which was only in the Disney XD series Rebels, not her original, not the original ones from the Clone Wars.
No, she came
And
back in
then
Rebels
right with
and
the white ones.
almost kicked Darth Vader's ass. It was a great
Right,
episode.
right.
Everyone should go check that out.
So so those lightsabers you can buy. You have to buy them one at a time. You can't buy them in a pack. You have to buy two of them separately. But that one, and then um, they have a Temple Guardians lightsaber that you can purchase as well. Those are the only two lights, and those Temple Guardians also appeared in Rebels. So nothing from the prequel
It was technically
era.
from that era, but it's not from the prequel movies.
Right. It
Yeah,
says it's from Rebels whenever in the description.
gotcha.
There's nothing from the prequels.
That's interesting because I feel like Darth
Even
Maul's
even the
lightsaber
Jedi
would
robes,
sell like fucking crazy.
they have it, but again, it says it's from Rebels. That's another one. It says that it's
I
from
guess he is
Rebels.
in Rebels.
He is in Rebels.
Shit. That's weird.
It was the weirdest like realization. Like they have like in the display, like in the fireworks display, they went through like the like when they were starting the story of Star Wars because it said that it was supposed to go through the time like supposed to go through the trilogies, right?
Hmm. The
Supposed to
Skywalker
associate this.
lineage.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It starts at A New Hope, not with Phantom Menace. A New Hope. And the only time they show clips from the prequels is like in A New Hope. Whenever you first meet Obi-Wan, they then do like they then show Ian McGregor, or however you pronounce his first name.
Ewan.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
show him. They just show a picture like a mugshot of him, and then when you first meet Darth Vader, they show a mugshot of Anakin, and then whenever Obi-Wan, and then they show the clips of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fighting. They show a little bit of the Mustafar fight scene. So the only time they're showing prequels is like kind of like in a backstory, like a what's it called? Not a foreshadow, but the opposite of that.
I have no idea.
Anyway, like they're recalling it,
Okay.
like, and but they started A New Hope, and then they go all the way to Rise of Skywalker. Or no, they don't go to Rise of Skywalker. They go to Last Jedi because they haven't added
That's weird.
Rise of Skywalker. It seems like they're not wanting to admit, which is even weirder because of the new season of Clone Wars. You think that they would be jumping on that,
You would
especially
think.
toy wise. I thought that they would revamp a lot of the Clone Wars toys whenever this seventh season comes that came out, but there's been nothing.
Hmm. That's weird.
And they're really the only marketing they haven't even really done any marketing for the seventh season. The only stuff I've seen from it is just YouTubers posting reactions about it. There's been no ads for it or anything.
Well, isn't it just on Disney Plus?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
most stuff that they're doing for Disney, like new stuff they're doing for Disney, is straight to Disney Plus anyway.
that's
They're
true.
starting to they're starting to back away from the Disney channels.
Well, what was the new movie that Chris Pratt just did? The animated one.
What
Disney
was the
movie.
premise of it?
They're like elves or something, like blue people, not Avatar. But
Trolls? Trolls?
no, it wasn't Trolls. Look it up.
Smurfs?
It wasn't Smurfs.
Because that's not Disney.
It was Onward. Um,
Onward.
yeah, Onward. It's going straight to Disney Plus on April 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was only it's only been in the theater for like 2 weeks,
if that. Yeah,
if that.
if that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since all
Yeah.
movie theaters are shut down, Disney's like, fuck it, we're getting paid from Disney Plus anyway. They just went ahead and they're throwing it on there. So
Yeah. But still, like, it's just super weird. Like, why are they just trying to avoid the prequels?
I
Are they
think
maybe
because
thinking
it's
that they
such a
can avoid?
big internet meme.
But so are the movies they've made. The movies they've
uh,
made are probably a bigger internet meme than.
I
You know how
think
many
I think it's
times?
different because okay, here's why I say it's different.
Now let me
Because
say this: I don't hate it. There's not a single one of the Star Wars movies that I hate. I will say that from right now.
mhm,
There are definitely some that are better than others, but there's not a single movie that I hate.
no,
Okay.
I enjoy all of them, but some of
Right.
them lack in
Right.
comparison to others. Yes.
Right. There are definitely a lot bigger budget movies that like besides the last three, you can't. They probably had infinite budget. But what I'm saying is that there's definitely movies that are on their level as far as budget wise that are so much worse than it.
Yeah.
Even the worst Star Wars movies. That being said, I would say that the prequels are better than Last Jedi.
Uh, I would agree with you very strongly. I'm not
Because
a fan of the new trilogy.
as okay, George Lucas can't write a script for shit, but you know what he can do? Build a fucking world.
Oh,
Build a universe.
absolutely.
He has
Absolutely.
if his okay, what he needs if and that was very apparent in the Clone Wars because he did the Clone Wars.
Hmm.
It was Dave Filoni, yes, but George Lucas was next to him the
He
entire
was
time they were
very
doing it.
hands-on with it,
Right.
through
And
the production of
look
that.
how good that was and how many
It's
different paths
incredible.
they explored and how many he can build a universe and then Dave Filoni filled in the parts where he was lacking.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that with the prequels?
It's a
Why
great
didn't Dave
question.
Filoni do the prequels?
I don't know if he was really
He
relevant.
wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
He wasn't there
He
yet.
wasn't
Yeah, no.
relevant.
He was there around the time of 3 Revenge. But
Yeah, well, when did Clone Wars start up? Like 2008?
7.
2007? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking, I remember 3 came out like, or episode 3 came out like fall 2005?
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, so we're talking a 2-year gap, and then,
Yeah.
Clone Wars gets on Cartoon Network, or did the movie come out then?
Movie came out, but the movie was the first 3 episodes just cut together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they didn't I don't think they aired the first 3 episodes. I think they did the launch event, right? Where they had it in select theaters. And then they put the movie on Cartoon Network, and then they went straight into episode 4. Which
Gotcha.
I didn't know if you know this, but the Clone Wars is not in chronological order, kind of like the movies. Yeah,
Is it not?
I'll send you the list of the actual chronological. Towards the later episodes, they get into chronological order. But what, like I was saying, with George Lucas being really hands-on, they would sit in the writing room, and he'd be like, "Well, what if this happened before that story happened? How could we do that?" And that's why they initially had the guy at the beginning of the movie explaining like the leading up to the events thing, like
Gotcha.
war in the galaxy, da, 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 da. That guy was so that way they could fit different pieces together because George would have ideas about certain situations that would like he thought of this, oh, this idea would be awesome, but it needs to happen before this. Like, oh, this could be an explanation for why this was happening. But he was thinking of them after the episodes already aired because they're writing these scripts and they're producing these episodes, in 1 week.
Hmm.
They have a week to do it.
Yeah.
So you don't have that much time to think and brainstorm. So that's how they got around it. Now the later seasons they switched to being in chronological order. Season 7 is in chronological order. We know that for a fact, and the entirety of the season will be in chronological order. There won't be anything that calls back.
I need to go back and rewatch a lot of that because I
When
was
you rewatch
I was
it,
really young whenever
do
it
it
all
in
came out,
so was I.
and
It's such a
I feel
nostalgic
like I
trip.
need to rewatch it. I don't know, but oh, one thing I was gonna ask you about: did you bring back a Coca-Cola container from Galaxy's Edge? Please show the podcast. This is so cool. I absolutely love these.
Sir, not only did I bring one back, I don't have the other ones with me, but I
Okay.
brought 3 back.
Can I have dibs on one? They look
That was
so
your-
fucking
That
cool.
was the thing I got you.
Okay,
You
cool.
dipshit.
That's what I figured. I was just wanting to make sure.
Yeah.
They look so fucking cool. No, like show the camera that. It looks like a goddamn grenade.
So they had these for regular Coke, Diet Coke, and Sprite.
Okay.
And then the water bottles were like, instead of being like the regular Dasani water bottles, they were like a perfect cylinder,
Uh-huh.
kind of like Voss waters, with some different writing on them too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I saw it was on Reddit somewhere, but it was like a Coke bottle. Like it was like thick, but it was just like that. It was like the same like shape and whatnot, but it was like I guess more detailed. I don't know.
But yeah,
But those are so cool.
they are.
They're so cool.
We found the kiosk where they sold them, and we literally bought like 7.
Yeah, I mean you have to. Come on. They look so cool.
So speaking of this, so back to the Clone Wars thing. Like I was saying, do you
Go
want to
ahead.
know the first episode that's in chronological order?
Go ahead.
Season 2, episode 16 is technically the first
Wow.
episode, and then it jumps to season 1, episode 16, and then it's the movie. Then it's the movie. Then it's season 3, episode 1, season 3, episode 3. Then it's season 1, episode 1. Then it's season 1, episode 2, episode 3, and then it goes through all of season 1 until you get to the finale of episode of season 1.
Maybe I should watch
Um,
them in that order
yeah.
instead of starting at episode 1.
And they actually only really jump around in season 1 is the only time that they jump around. Everything else seems to be in chronological order.
Okay.
But I'll send you this list. It's on StarWars.com.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
And so it says like it'll say 216. That means when it says 216, that means season 2, episode 16.
16. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
That confused me for a second until I realized that. But
there's 216 episodes.
I was like, wait a minute, this is episode numbered. This won't tell me what season it is.
What the
There's
heck?
actually there's 121 episodes before you get to season 7, and that
Okay.
list is only good through season 6. But season 7, like I said, is going to be in chronological order.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. After you get past the 5th episode in order, once you finally get to season 1, episode 1, then everything else is in chronological order. You just have to remember that you already watched season 2, episode 16, and season 3, episode 1, and all that stuff. But yeah, that just watch it in that order, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
the chronological order.
I think that'll be a fun way to rewatch it because, like, I watched it every week growing
So
up.
did I.
Like, I watched it every single week.
I had a lot of the toys as well.
Yeah, I had a lot of the Clone Wars toys. I think I had like all the like named stormtrooper or clone troopers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of them. But
Domino Squad.
oh yeah. But such a
No
good fucking
spoilers,
show.
But season 7 has to do with Domino Squad already.
That'll be exciting.
It's so, dude, the animations look so good.
I'm sure.
The
Well, like,
animations look so good.
so my friend Jack sent me a handful of videos. I think it was like 2 or 3 videos, and it was all, you probably saw it, but it was all of season 7 or a good chunk of season 7,
that were
and that were like
the
pre-done.
previs, that's what it's called.
Yeah, the previs. So they had like really, really rough animation, but all the voices were done, all the scripts were written, everything.
So what had happened
It
was
was basically
that
half-baked Clone Wars.
they had done that. They had started working on season 7 before the Disney acquisition. When Disney acquired Lucasfilm, they obviously had to come off of Cartoon Network because that's not owned by Disney. And Disney at the time was not ready for the Clone Wars to go to Disney Plus or to go to Disney XD because they already had Rebels.
Yeah.
So they were like, what are we going to do here? So they then canceled Clone Wars before we got a season 7 and an ending. So what they did at a Star Wars Celebration and what they did on StarWars.com was they're like, look, this is the previs for what was going to be episode 7. At the time, they were like, this is never going to happen. This is what we had so far.
Might as well release what we got. Enjoy it or not, you know?
And I will say that it's not all the same.
Yeah.
They took out a few scenes. They've added a few scenes. And obviously they finished it out. The animations. No, it's still blocky. Just T-posing clone troopers, you know?
Yeah.
No. But yeah, it looks... and it's so good. The interaction between characters feels a lot more genuine.
Okay.
And Anakin. Oh my god.
Yeah?
Oh.
Okay.
And it's getting spicy between Anakin and
So,
Obi-Wan.
Is season 7 going to be the last season, or do they know yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
sure.
do we know
Season
when
7 okay.
season 7 ends in
We
the
don't.
Skywalker lineage?
Kind of.
Okay.
So I don't know if you remember, but in the beginning of episode 3, when he finally sees Padme again, he was coming back from the Outer Rim sieges.
Correct.
Season 7.
I watched that like 4 months ago, but yeah.
Okay. Season 7 is the Outer Rim sieges.
Okay.
So it's gonna end with him returning to Coruscant.
Okay.
At what point does it end? We're not sure.
Well, I mean, I think it would be really cool if they just cut straight into the dogfight scene
Yeah,
with Grievous's people.
like him and Obi-Wan are taking off
Yeah,
on Coruscant,
yeah,
and
just
then it's just
immediately
like,
taking off, and then it's like,
yeah,
hey, we got company, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I will say that there's oh my
I'm
god,
doing a
it's
podcast.
so good. It's everything that I've wanted from season 7 and then some for sure.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, new episodes coming out. Wait, today's Friday, right?
correct.
New episodes out today. I know what I'm doing
Awesome.
after this.
How many episodes are they in?
This is 5 came out today.
Okay,
No, that's not right.
4.
4 came out today.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about that because I have a ton of to watch before it catches up or before I catch up to season 7.
I just went right into it. I didn't really care to
I want to go back and watch it because there's a lot that like that I've spoken with other people about, and they're like, "Hey, like, do you remember this fight scene?" And it's like, I do vaguely, but it's like I just want to go back and rewatch it because like all
well,
the
you know what I've
stuff,
done?
like,
Rather than rewatching it, you know what I did do?
go ahead.
There's a Star Wars YouTube channel that I found. It's called, well, it's not necessarily a Star Wars YouTube channel, but it's a YouTube channel where there's just a panel of dudes and they just react to like sci-fi and nerdy stuff.
Okay.
Okay. And so they obviously can't show the full episode. So what they do is they show snippets, right?
Mhm.
And on their Patreon, you can go and you can buy their full reaction to the full episode. You just have to have your own source material.
Okay.
I'm not paying for it, but in the YouTube videos that are free, it's like watching a summary of that episode, right? So what I did was I just watched all those episodes. They were hour long episodes because they would talk about it afterwards. And they
Okay.
were watching, two of the guys in the group hadn't never seen Clone Wars before, but they were Star Wars fans.
Gotcha.
And then 3 guys had seen it before. Um, so I was only watching the parts where it was about like them reacting. And so I was getting other commentation about the episode from, more knowledgeable people of the Star Wars universe, plus also getting a recap of what happened in each episode and the important parts and not worrying about the fluff.
I gotcha.
And so that's how I rewatched it.
Well, I was sent a list by Jack. He basically broke it down for me, and it was just the important stuff. It was completely stripped. It was
Episode
completely
5 came out
stripped.
today.
Okay.
So
Um,
and so you know how, sorry to interrupt you, but you
No,
know
you're good.
how the Clone Wars does like arcs and then they have filler episodes?
Uh-huh.
So they have like a 3-episode, 4-episode arc, and then they'll have an episode that's a filler episode. So see, episode 4 was the ending of the first arc of the season.
Mhm.
And so the first arc didn't have Ahsoka in it at all because you know what happened to Ahsoka, right?
Mhm.
She got framed for blowing up the temple and then she left the order.
Yep.
She also knows about Padme, if you didn't know that.
Okay.
That happened in season 6. It was confirmed that she knew about Padme.
Okay.
But the thumbnail for episode 5 has her on it, so I'm excited about that.
That'll be cool.
I really want Ahsoka to be in a live action movie.
She is such
She
a badass
kinda
character.
She was kind of in Rise of Skywalker because
She
she was
was.
in the voice.
Her
She
audio
the
was in
voices,
there.
yeah. But I want to see Ahsoka because they have the technology. Just use the Avatar technology, like the. She looks so similar to the Avatar, the Navi.
Yeah.
people.
I mean, if you just
Like
want to
in her movement.
yeah,
She's obviously a lot shorter, but like
just
her
put
movement.
someone in a mocap suit and then redo
Yeah.
the audio.
I would love that so much.
That would be so good.
She there's no way.
Honestly, like, I
She
don't
could
know
be in
where.
Obi-Wan.
Well, what I'm saying, yes, she could definitely be in the Obi-Wan series. But what I'm saying is, I would totally go see it. But if they did just a solo movie on her,
They have a solo novel.
that's really cool. But like,
Yeah.
if they just did like a Clone Wars like spin-off movie,
Mm-hmm.
like do an hour movie,
Yeah.
Just on Ahsoka, that'd be badass
And Hayden's not too old. He can
Uh-uh.
still play Anakin.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. With a little bit of makeup and touch up for sure.
I mean, yeah, you saw what they did with Carrie Fisher. They're fine.
That's true. That's true.
They're fine. They
Yeah.
can totally do it.
Now would Hayden play Anakin again? That's a different story.
That's a very different story.
Because
Hey man, they got
McGregor-
George Lucas to play Han Solo again. Not George Lucas. I'm fucking retarded. What's his name? I'm
Harrison
total
Ford.
Harrison Ford. George Lucas. George Lucas plays it. Plays Han Solo. No.
I was like,
Harrison Ford.
that's a fat Han
Harrison
Solo.
Ford. They got him to play Han Solo again.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Anything's possible. You put a big enough check in front of somebody, they'll do it.
And McGregor, I think, is the only person that made it big with Star Wars that actually had a career after.
This is true.
That's a successful
He's
career.
so good though.
He's so good though.
He's
Yeah.
so good.
By the
like,
way, perfect embodiment of young Obi-Wan. Like
Oh,
no
yeah.
one better could have played that.
oh, no one. No
No
one.
one.
He was so good. Oh man. All right, we're 5 out from an hour.
All right.
Got anything
I
else
actually
you want
get
to share?
I get to go stand in line at Target
That's fun. What you got to get?
after this. My mom has a prescription to pick up, and I'm gonna pick up some stuff for me too. And then we're
Nice.
gonna run to the post office to see if I can't get a passport.
Okay. So
Yeah.
funniest thing, we have a family group text, and my mom just put out. She said Madison, my cousin, me and my sister, found toilet paper. We're good for a while. Joshua, my brother, replies back. He says, "Thank God, I was about to use the cardboard and then my sock."
We actually found a pack of 12 at HEB the other day.
Oh man, it's like finding gold.
Dude, I swear to God. Dude,
Honestly, I've absolutely decided, if I had to, I could totally rough it and just make a bidet setup for my toilet.
dude, bro, I can send you the link for
They have a
that you
bidet
just had.
attachment, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm literally about to buy one, and then I'm gonna.
But
buy
if
one
like
for-
let's say that gets sold out on Amazon, right? And we can't do anything about it. I will
Twice.
figure out a way. Yeah, but
Twice.
like that runs out eventually. So what
you
I'm
know-
saying,
Dollar Shave Club. What?
this is true. But what if society collapses?
Okay.
All right, and the only currency we have is toilet paper,
Bottle caps, English.
bottle caps, and toilet paper. It's gonna be the new DLC for Fallout.
Revamping Fallout 76. Now featuring the
Revamping
toilet
Fallout
paper
76. Yeah. Oh god, new currency, toilet paper. No, but
update.
Jesus
What's your
Christ,
makeshift
dude.
bidet?
No, my makeshift bidet. My dad asked me. He's like, what would you do if we totally run out of toilet paper? I was like, I'll just make a homemade bidet system. And he's like, how would you do that? I was like, I would hook up a hose to the faucet, and then run it into the bathroom under the toilet seat, angle it properly. We got super glue. We're fine. Like, we'll figure it out.
I don't know if that's enough water pressure.
Oh, we'd figure it out.
No,
I'll
you know,
figure it out.
You take one of those old fashioned hose nozzles that are like a needle, that they're like a
Yeah,
cone shape.
It's exactly
you
what I'm
twist
talking
it.
about.
You do that, and then you just stick your asshole on it. Not even.
Well,
in
I
the
wasn't
face.
thinking that. That's more of an enema, but yeah, sure.
That'd clean you right the fuck out, dude. Why don't you just? Okay, I'm telling you. Let's both get bidet attachments and squatty potties. We'll be fine.
I'm not a
Never
fan
have
of the
to lay
squatty
again.
potty.
Neither
not a
am I,
fan.
As a tall guy.
I'm not a fan. I'm a short guy. I don't like the squatty potty.
So I don't know if you know this, but in our house, our old house before we moved, my
Mhm.
dad had replaced all the toilets to be tall person toilets.
That's nice.
So I would no longer lose circulations in our legs when we had, those kind of days. And yes, because it takes an entire day for me to shit sometimes. This is true.
It's more like 22 hours, but close enough.
Dude, that one time that one time I got food poisoning from fucking Panda Express.
I love that store. The fuck place.
No, the time I swear to God, it was like that 200 and whatever hours where that dude got his hand stuck behind the rock. That's how I felt. I was just on the toilet and I couldn't get up, and I was like,
Your ass cheeks are just like.
dude, I swear to God, I thought I prolapsed my anus. I
Oh
thought I did.
Jesus Christ.
So two of my biggest fears, right? Death by that venom that makes your blood turn into jello,
Okay.
and prolapsing my anus. Those are my two biggest fears.
We're just gonna end the podcast on that note. All right. Thanks for listening. If anyone's out there, Mark, I know you're listening. Thank you for catching the flaw that we had last episode. And anyway, yeah, we'll be back again next week with some more hot content talking about toilet paper currency and Connor's fear of prolapsing his anus. All right, peace out.
Bye.